In the 2019 NBA offseason, the New Orleans Pelicans traded away their franchise centerpiece in Anthony Davis and brought a new one in the generational prospect out of Duke, Zion Williamson. They were regarded as one of the teams with one of the brightest futures in all of the association. And after a few years filled with some skepticism surrounding the future of the franchise and Zion Williamson's weight and his health, things really seemed to be coming together for the New Orleans Pelicans. As in Williamson's fourth season, the one-time All-Star and really one of the best inside scorers in the league has been healthy up to this point, and him, Brandon Ingram, CJ McCollum, and company have led this team to an 18-8 record so far, and they sit atop of the Western Conference currently and have won 9 of their last 10 games. And today we're going to be discussing this New Orleans Pelicans team that is quickly on the rise. And when discussing this team, there's really nobody else you could start with other than Zion Williamson. Coming out of Duke, he was an insanely hyped up prospect for his insane athleticism and really just amazing ability to score the basketball with such little effort. And in his rookie season, he played 24 games and was very good when he did play, even though his debut had to wait a while. But as I said, he played 24 games and put up 22 a game, and there were even some shouts for him to be Rookie of the Year, but he didn't play enough, and Ja Morant took it home. And in his second year, we really saw a jump from him. With the Pelicans, he made the All-Star team in his second year in the league, and he became one of the best offensive players in all of basketball, putting up 27, 7, and 4 on 65% true shooting. Now in his third year, there were big expectations for him, but he did not play a single game for the Pelicans in his third year in the league, and many concerns began to really rise about his health and weight, as he had only played 24 games in his rookie season and played 61 in his second season. That's a lot of games missed, more games missed than played through his first 3 seasons in the league. But in year 4 so far, he has been excellent. So far this season, he's putting up 25, 7, and 4 on 65% true shooting. And in this 11-game stretch where they've won 10 out of their last 11, he is averaging 27, 8, and 5 on 71% true shooting. He is one of the best offensive engines in the league, and obviously a huge part as to why the Pelicans are so good. But it's not just him. This roster is very, very deep, and we saw last year when they won the play-in game and won 2 games off the number 1 seed Phoenix Suns in the playoffs last season, in a year where Zion Williamson did not play at all. And I think 2 guys you got to give major credit to are his co-stars, Brandon Ingram and CJ McCollum. Now Ingram, really ever since he got traded to the Pelicans, he's established himself as an all-star player, as he did take home most improved player his first season in New Orleans and was an all-star then. But since then, he's remained a consistent 22 plus point per game guy who can score from multiple levels, and he's improved significantly as a passer as well. Last season, his numbers weren't anything special, especially for the new standards we have for Brandon Ingram as a player, as he put up 55.4 true shooting, averaged around 23 a game, but he did see improvements in his passing, as he put up almost 6 assists a game and 6 rebounds, and he really had some big time performances we saw for the Pelicans in some of those big games they played towards the end of the season and in the postseason. I have no doubt in my mind he will be a great number 2 option in the coming years to Zion Williamson. And this season, although his points have gone down and he's only played 15 games, something that is really promising is he is shooting 46% from 3 to start this season. He's currently out with a toe injury, but you'd figure the Pelicans, with how good they are now, are only going to get better when they get back. Of the most dangerous wing scorers in basketball. Moving on to CJ McCollum, the guard who spent his first 8 years in Portland alongside Damian Lillard, with the Trailblazers, who was traded to New Orleans last season at the deadline and has been playing some point guard for them. And really, while he has not played that great this season, I have to show him some love because he was a huge part in getting the Pelicans to the playoffs and winning those two key playoff games over the Suns. And last season, after getting traded in 26 games for them, put up 24 a game, shot 49% from the field and 39% from three. Also put up around 6 assists a game. CJ McCollum was really good for the Pelicans last year. And this year he struggled a bit in 22 games, playing 35 minutes, shooting just 40% from the field and 32% from three, averaging 17 points a game. And we know he is not a good defender whatsoever, which really, as I say this, Brandon Ingram's missed some time, CJ McCollum's really struggled, and a guy like Herb Jones has also missed some time, and the Pelicans are still so good, which is really an ode to how deep this team is, how much depth they have, and how good they are at finding guys to fill in. And that's what we're going to be talking about from here on, the rest of the roster here in New Orleans. And a guy we said, Herb Jones, was one of the best defensive rookies you'll ever see last year, was picked in the second round out of Alabama, and what a pick that was for New Orleans, as in his rookie year, he was getting all defensive team shouts from guys who watch a lot of the league like Bill Simmons, and he also wasn't bad on the offensive end, averaging 10 a game on around league average true shooting, and if he can get that three-point shot down and more consistent, he can be a very, very nice player for the Pelicans. And he wasn't the only good rookie for New Orleans either last season. They also selected Trey Murphy, another long forward. He was picked in the first round out of Virginia, and he's someone who can really, really shoot the basketball. He did struggle a bit at the start of his rookie season, but by the end of it, he was playing big minutes for the Pelicans in important games and still ended up shooting 38% from three in his rookie year. Now in year two, he's averaging 13 a game on 47, 41, 93 splits. He was the first 50, 40, 90 player in the ACC at Virginia since Kyrie Irving. He's an ultra-efficient wing for the New Orleans Pelicans, and he flashed some of his ability to score off the dribble when he was sent down to the G League for them, and he came back out a much more confident player, and we've seen that at the end of his rookie year last year and really at the start of year two, as he's shown more of those flashes off the dribble. He looks like a really good player, and did I mention he's also a damn good defender for the Pelicans. Trey Murphy is really, I think, the perfect role player to put around a guy like Zion Williamson. He spaces the floor really well. He's a really good perimeter defender, and occasionally he can drive in and get shots at the rim to fall. And even with him and Herb Jones, there is still a player from last year's draft class for New Orleans we have not discussed, and that is Jose Alvarado, the new fan favorite, the New York native who went to Georgia Tech, went undrafted in last year's draft, is just such a feisty defensive guard. Really a guy you want on your team. And he's also been pretty decent on the offensive end this year, averaging 9 a game on 46, 39, 82 splits, which is pretty solid. And recently he had a 38-point performance. He looks like a guy that really just will annoy your team's best guard. Overall, 3 great finds last year in the draft and 1 in undrafted free agency for the New Orleans Pelicans last offseason. And there's still many pieces on this roster we're yet to talk about that either are contributors or I think will be contributors in the future. Someone like Larry Nance Jr. is a plus defender at the big man position for them and also shoots 39% from 3. He can space the floor, and he's shooting 64% from the field as well. A very efficient offensive player who does not take unnecessary or bad shots and is a good defender and solid passer overall. A guy like him is really useful for them, as well as Jonas Valanciunas, someone who maybe in past years could be a little bit overrated because of his good numbers, but he is still a very, very solid starting center. Can score in the post, rebound, and is really a walking double-double. And the last guy I want to talk about on this Pelicans team is Dyson Daniels, the guard/wing drafted out of the G League Ignite from Australia in this past draft. Didn't play much in the first 10-15 games of his rookie season due to injuries and just this being such a deep Pelicans team, but in the last 10 games he's averaging 26 minutes a night, and while he's only putting up 7, 4, and 4, his defensive instincts are really promising. He has really good size, and he also has shown some real flashes as a passer with 11 assists and 8 assist performances in these past 10 games, and he's someone who in the future I think could be a real piece for the Pelicans, especially defensively, and if his jump shot can be at least decent at the NBA level, he can be a really useful player. And in his last 10, he is shooting 36% from 3, and if he can keep that up, that would be great for New Orleans. And overall, I really do think this team has a great opportunity to make some noise in what I think is a wide open Western Conference this year. You know, the Memphis Grizzlies are a very good team. I don't think they have as much talent as New Orleans. The Golden State Warriors, there's been a lot of questions so far about them, and they've had some struggles early in the year, and the LA Clippers have dealt with a lot of injuries, and we really don't know if Kawhi Leonard can ever stay healthy again. The Pelicans, loads of talent and depth, and I really do think Zion Williamson and this team could be primed for a deep playoff run this season. I thank y'all for watching, and peace out.